Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you? The information that you're about to learn in this speech will change your life indefinitely. You will become wiser on the global issue concerning conventional foods and all natural foods. Once you understand that the differences and how it affects your everyday life, you will become empowered. The information that will empower you to inspire others and yourself to make wiser decisions. Some of you may be puzzled and want to ask the question, what are conventional foods? Conventional foods are foods that are processed using various pesticides, hormones, and antibiotics to promote growth and prevent disease. These foods come from, of course, conventional farms. Large conventional farms produce the foods with varying levels of chemical fertilizers to promote plant growth, spray insecticides to reduce pest and disease, use chemical herbicides to manage weeds, and give antibiotics and growth hormones and medications to animals in an effort to prevent disease and spur quicker growth. So let me explain a little more on conventional farming. It is a way to mass produce. When you mass produce, though, you lose a lot of the nutrients and it becomes less healthy. Also, also in the long run, it's a good way for farmers to get rich quicker. They can grow the foods and meats faster, therefore allowing them to sell them quicker. As a result, consumers are led to believe that they're buying quality and nutritious foods. The main issue of conventional farming, though, is the degradation of soil. By farming a single crop year after year using harmful agents such as pesticides and synthetic fertilizers, you can diminish the nutrients in the soil. This act also makes it impossible to grow anything in that area, let alone sustain the ecosystem and organisms that rely on the surrounding habitat. Now, as you listen to the pros and cons of conventional agriculture and foods, think of how much you value your health. Ask yourself the simple question, is it worth it? Okay, here are some pros of conventional agriculture. Okay, by feeding the animals growth hormones and treating the fields with pesticides, and farmers ensure that the animals and produce are growing rapidly enough and are free of harmful pests and make the deadline in the present market. Also, farmers have to make a living too, so by restricting their growing seasons by avoiding to use pesticides and others make their gardens grow. For farmers must use the tactics that will give them the results they're looking for. So, the answer, conventional farming. But there are also some bad cons with this. The main issue of using artificial pesticides that farmers use, they cut down on the pest population, may kill the weeds and pests, but also leave a harmful residue on your food. The USDA conducted a study showing that most commonly eaten produce items were 73% to 90% contaminated with disease-causing pesticides. Soon, many of these pests grow resistance to the pesticides and actually help breed more numerous and stronger pest communities. Pesticides not only kill the targeted pests, but they're natural predators, as well as causing an imbalance in the entire environment. So think about that next time. Now, let's spend a little bit more time speaking about all natural foods. Some of you are still puzzled and want to ask the question, what are all natural foods? All natural foods are foods without artificial flavors, colors, or other petrochemical additives. Now, if you responded to the previous question, is it worth it, and you said no, then all natural foods is the choice for you. Here are a few pros of all natural foods. They're foods that are minimally processed, therefore they don't have any of that extra stuff in it. And they're fairly easy to find. They're in your local grocery stores. there's a lot of cookbooks and all that talking about, how to use your all natural foods or whatever. And basically, you know what you're eating. If you buy a banana, you know you're eating a banana. If you buy an apple, you know you're eating an apple. You're not eating an apple that has tons of pesticides and all these other chemicals, and you just know what you're eating. So that's a plus. Now, the bad part about all natural foods is, one, it takes longer to grow, but I would take the risk of it taking longer to grow than making it faster and then not knowing what I'm eating. And two, it costs a little more, but on average, it's only a little bit more. And in the long run, I mean, you're prolonging your life. So you spend a little extra change to prolong your life, I would do it. So in conclusion, what choices will you make the next time you go to your local grocery store? Will you make the wiser decision? All right, and this concludes.